The hidden power of radical presence. How shifting your attention from yourself to others dissolves every wall between you and the people you love. You're sitting across from someone you love, a partner, a parent, a best friend. They're talking, telling you something, maybe something important, and your eyes are on them, but your mind is somewhere else entirely. You're composing a reply. You're thinking about what happened this morning. You're waiting for a pause so you can say your part. And here's what's terrifying: they can feel it. They can feel that you are not there. They can feel the invisible wall. They don't always name it. They don't always call it out. But something tightens in them, something closes. And the conversation ends, and both of you walk away with that vague, unspoken feeling that you missed each other. Again, you want connection, deep, real, lasting connection, the kind that makes you feel known, the kind that makes you feel safe enough to be fully alive. You want relationships that feed you rather than drain you, conversations that matter rather than fill silence, and you will do almost anything to have that. You'll plan the perfect date, send the thoughtful text, read the book on communication, but you won't do the one thing that actually changes everything. You won't stop thinking about yourself long enough to truly see another person. The deepest need of the human soul is not to be loved, it is to be truly heard. That's the paradox burning at the center of almost every broken relationship, every friendship that faded, every conversation that ended in frustration. You are full of care, full of intention, full of love, and yet people in your life feel unseen, because care that stays inside your head is invisible to everyone but you. Stakes: this is not a small thing. The research is unambiguous. The quality of your relationships is the single greatest predictor of your health, your happiness, and how long you live. Not your career, not your income, not your fitness routine, your relationships. And at the center of every great relationship, everyone, is one person making another person feel that in this moment, right now, you are the most important thing in my world. The habit that creates that feeling is available to you right now. It costs nothing. It requires no talent, but it will demand everything you have. It's called radical presence. And by the end of this, you will understand why it's the most powerful psychological shift a human being can make. Radical presence is the deliberate act of directing your full cognitive and emotional attention toward another person in the moment of interaction. Not selective attention, not performative listening while you formulate your next sentence. Complete, generous, self-forgetful attention. It sounds simple. It is profoundly difficult, and the science of why it's so hard, and why mastering it changes everything, is extraordinary. Neuroscience has identified what's called the default mode network, a set of brain regions that activate precisely when you are not focused on a task. When your attention drifts in conversation, your brain doesn't go quiet. It turns inward. It begins generating self-referential thoughts, memories, plans, social comparisons, anxieties about yourself. You are neurologically designed to default to yourself. Presence is the conscious override of that default. Every time you redirect your attention from the noise in your head back to the person in front of you, you are performing an act of neural discipline. And like any discipline, it builds with pre-1990s. Italian neuroscientists discovered mirror neurons, cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing it. Your brain literally simulates what others are experiencing. When you are genuinely present with another person, your nervous system synchronizes with theirs in real time. Their body language, their micro-expressions, the rhythm of their breath. You are absorbing all of it below the level of conscious awareness. This is why people who are truly listen to report feeling deeply understood, even if the listener said very little. Presence is not passive. It is a neurological event that the other person feels in their body. Harvard researcher Amy Edmondson identified psychological safety, the belief that you will not be punished for speaking up, for being vulnerable, for being fully yourself, as the single most important factor in high-performing teams and intimate relationships alike. Radical presence creates psychological safety. When someone feels that you are truly here, fully attending, not judging, not waiting for your turn, not distracted. They experience a measurable surge in oxytocin, the bonding neurochemical. Their threat response quiets. Their prefrontal cortex, the seat of creativity, empathy, and deep thought, comes online. They become capable of honesty they couldn't access before you gave them your full attention. James Clear, in his foundational work on behavior change, argues that the most powerful habits are not built around outcomes, but around identity. Not, I want better relationships, but I am the kind of person who shows up completely for the people I love. This distinction matters enormously. Outcome-based goals are fragile. They collapse under stress, fatigue, or distraction. Identity-based commitments are self-reinforcing. Every time you choose presence over distraction, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. You are not just improving a skill. You are transforming your character. These 4 pillars, neural discipline, somatic resonance, psychological safety, and identity-based transformation, are the architecture of radical presence. This is not soft advice. This is the operating system of every great relationship ever built. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, commander of the most powerful empire on earth, and one of the most rigorous philosophical minds in human history, wrote in his private journal something that should stop you cold. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." And then, this is the part that gets left out. He continued, "But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." Marcus Aurelius, carrying the weight of an empire, reminded himself every single morning that the humans around him deserved his full attention, his full consideration, his full humanity. If the Emperor of Rome could find the discipline to be present with the people around him, with all of their flaws, all of their demands, all of their noise, what is your excuse? The unlived life. Viktor Frankl survived the Nazi concentration camps. He watched people die. He lost everyone he loved. And when he emerged from that darkness, he did not write about bitterness. He wrote about meaning. He wrote that the last human freedom, the one thing no circumstance can take from you, is your choice of how to respond to any situation. And one of the most powerful choices you will ever make is the choice to be fully present with another human being. Because here is what the half-present life actually costs you. Your children grow up, and what they remember is not the vacations or the gifts. They remember whether you looked up from your phone when they walked into the room. Your partner learns slowly, silently, to stop sharing the things that matter to them, because experience has taught them that you are not really listening. Your friendships thin out into performative updates instead of genuine knowing. And one day you look around at the people in your life and feel, despite all your good intentions, despite all your love, profoundly alone. The unlived life is not one of missed ambitions. It is a life of missed presence, moments of genuine contact that passed while you were somewhere else in your mind. There is a fear underneath the absence of presence that we need to name. When you are truly, radically present with another person, when you stop managing the conversation and simply receive them, you become vulnerable. You might feel moved. You might not know what to say. You might be changed by what you hear. The distracted mind protects you from that exposure, but that protection is a cage. The very wall you built to stay safe is the wall keeping you from the connection you desperately need. Epictetus, the freed slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers, said it plainly. Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life. Be present with what is, not with what you wish it were, not with how you plan to respond, with what is right here, right now. The cost of staying safe is the life you could have had, and that price compounds silently every single day. You don't build radical presence by deciding to be a better listener. You build it the same way you build any elite capacity, through deliberate systems, daily practice, and a willingness to be uncomfortable until the new behavior becomes who you are. Here is exactly how to do it. The relationship intention before you look at your phone. before you check email, news, or social media, spend 90 seconds asking yourself one question. Who will I be with today, and what do they most need from me? Name the people, name their needs. This is not sentiment. This is cognitive priming. You are pre-loading your nervous system with an orientation toward others rather than toward the noise of your own agenda. Relationships get the sharpest version of you, not the exhausted remainder. Body before words before any significant conversation. Perform what psychologists call a grounding reset. 3 slow breaths, feet flat on the floor, eyes soft rather than scanning. This drops your nervous system out of reactive sympathetic mode and into the parasympathetic state where empathy, patience, and genuine listening live. You cannot be truly present when your body is in fight or flight. The breath is the bridge between distraction and contact. This takes 20 seconds and it changes everything. Listen beyond the last word. When someone finishes speaking, train yourself to wait 2 full seconds before responding. 2 seconds of silence. This will feel excruciating at first. Your mind will want to fill it. Your ego will be afraid of appearing slow. Push through it. In those 2 seconds, something extraordinary happens. You actually absorb what was just said. You discover the layer beneath the surface content. You find the question worth asking, and the person speaking feels, at a cellular level, that their words landed, that they were not just heard but received. This single micro practice, done consistently, will transform the quality of every conversation you have. Defending the moment, choose at least 3 presence blocks each day. Defined windows where your phone is face down and silenced, notifications are off, and your full attention belongs to whoever you are with. Dinner. The first 20 minutes when a loved one comes home. The walk with a friend. These are not dead time. These are the primary sites where trust is built or eroded, where intimacy deepens or fades. Treat presence blocks like you treat your most important work meetings. Inviolable, protected, non-negotiable. Your relationships are your most important work. Emotional regulation under pressure, the inner witness, the hardest test of presence is conflict. When someone is angry, hurt, or critical, when the conversation triggers your own wound, your own defensiveness, the default move is to leave the present moment. You begin managing, deflecting, counter-attacking, or shutting down. The practice here is what mindfulness teachers call the inner witness, a part of you that watches your own emotional activation without being consumed by it. You notice the tightening in your chest. You notice the urge to interrupt. You breathe into it. And you stay, because the person in front of you is not the enemy. They are someone who needs you present more than they need you perfect. Building the self concept of a deeply present person. Every time you choose presence over distraction, even in small moments, even imperfectly, you say to yourself, "I am the kind of person who shows up." Reinforce this identity deliberately. Keep a 1-line nightly note, 1 moment today where I was fully present. Not for performance, not for a score, for the compounding power of self-recognition. The brain strengthens what it sees in itself. When you regularly observe yourself choosing presence, you become someone for whom presence is not an effort. It is simply who you are. And when that happens, every relationship in your life begins to breathe differently. These 6 strategies are not a menu, they are a system. Each one feeds the others. The morning intention makes the presence blocks feel meaningful. The physical anchor enables the 2-second rule. The emotional regulation practice makes you safe enough to build the self-concept. Start with 1, master it, add the next. Within 30 days, the people in your life will feel something different about you, even if they can't name it. They will feel chosen. Before this video ends, I'm going to ask you to make a decision, not a vague intention, not a "I'll try to be more present," a decision, the kind that comes with a specific commitment, a structure, and an accountability anchor, the identity declaration. Say this out loud right now or write it down. I am the kind of person who shows up completely for the people I love. When I am with someone, I am fully with them. My presence is my most powerful gift. That declaration is not affirmation fluff. It is the first brick in a new self-concept. Every behavior change begins with a story you tell about who you are. The 30-day presence challenge. For the next 30 days, choose one person in your life, and commit to being radically present every single time you are with them. Not every conversation with every human on earth. One person. Apply the 6 strategies. Notice what changes in them. Notice what changes in you. 30 days is enough time to rewire a neural pathway, enough time to rebuild trust, enough time to remember what real connection feels like. Accountability anchoring. Tell someone right now, today, what you are committing to. Send a message to a friend. Write it in your journal and read it every morning. Or drop it in the comments below this video. Because commitment that lives only inside your head is intention. Commitment that you name out loud to another person becomes identity, and identity is what survives the hard days. The philosophical anchor, there is a man I think about when this gets hard. His name was Carl Rogers, one of the greatest psychologists of the 20th century. He spent his entire career studying what it means to truly help another human being. And after decades of research, after thousands of hours with clients, he arrived at this: the most therapeutically powerful thing one human being can offer another is complete, non-judgmental, genuinely curious attention. Not advice, not analysis, not answers. Attention. Full, radical, self-forgetful attention. He called it unconditional positive regard. I call it showing up, and I believe it is the most undervalued skill in the modern world, and the most urgently needed. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be relentless. The closing, you are going to fail at this. You are going to be distracted. You are going to have days where the noise in your head wins, where you sit across from someone you love and realize, halfway through, that you have not truly heard a word they said. That is not failure. That is the practice. The measure is not whether you are always present. The measure is how quickly you come back. The people in your life, the ones who matter, the ones you would grieve to lose, they do not need you to be extraordinary. They need you to be here, right here, eyes up, phone down, heart open, listening not to respond but to understand. Not because you are obligated to, but because you have decided, you have chosen, that the people you love deserve the version of you that is fully alive. That choice is available to you right now. This moment. Not next week, not after you finish your to-do list. Now, in the very next conversation you have with the very next human being who trusts you enough to speak to you. Be there for them. Completely. It will change them. And it will change you in ways you cannot yet imagine. If this moved something in you, if it showed you something you needed to see, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not because views matter, but because the best ideas travel on the back of genuine connection. And if you want more like this, more truth, more depth, more of the psychology and philosophy that actually transforms how you live, subscribe. We build this together. Now go. Someone is waiting for you to show up.